All right. Well, today we're going to be looking at subtracting integers. And in our lesson, we are going to look at problems that deal with two different integers, as well as subtraction problems that deal with three different integers, as well as problems where we're given a value of a variable and then we're solving an algebraic expression, again dealing with subtracting of the integers. So let's go ahead and start off with the subtraction of two integers right now. So if you found that adding integers is pretty easy, then what I'll tell you with the subtracting integers is we're going to do one small variation, one small step to change our subtracting integer problems into an adding integer problem, and then you'll find it's very easy, okay? It's something we like to do. It's called LCO. And LCO, it represents three actions you're going to take when you're doing a subtraction problem with integers. You're first going to leave the first number the same, and after that, then you're going to change the sign of the subtraction problem into an addition problem, and then finally you're going to give the last number, the second number, the opposite sign. So this is how it looks. Our problem reads 6 minus 8. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the 6 as a 6. And then I have minus 8, right? So I'm going to change the subtraction sign into an addition sign. And then I'm going to finally take the opposite of 8 and make it into negative 8. Once we've done that, now we have an addition problem. And through my experience with you guys, it's easier. You guys do a pretty good job with adding integers. You guys understand this very well. And we know that when we're looking at an addition problem, we're thinking, well, I have 6 positives and I have 8 negatives. What do I have more of? I have more negatives. How many more? I have 2 more. So 6 plus negative 8 equals negative 2. That's all we would do. So again, let's try this next problem. I have negative 5 minus negative 8, right? So I'm going to leave, change, opposite. And so now I have negative 5 plus positive 8. I have 5 negatives, 8 positives. There's more positives. How many more? 3 more. So my answer is 3. Let's try our next one. We have negative 4 minus 10. So I'm going to leave the negative 4. I'm going to change the minus to addition. And the opposite of 10 is negative 10. Now I have 4 negatives and I have 10 negatives. Since they are the same sign, I'm just going to ask, well, how many negatives do I have altogether? Well, if I add 4 plus 10, I have 14. So I have 14 negatives altogether. And then our final problem here, again, we have 9 minus negative 2. So I'm going to leave the 9 alone. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition. I'm going to take the opposite of negative 2, which is positive 2. And then the result is 9 plus 2, which is 11. And so this is how you would take on subtraction problems when we're looking at just two integers being subtracted, or one integer being subtracted from another integer. All right? So let's go ahead and look at what do we do if we have 3 integers here, if we have 3 integers. Well, the way I like to deal with this is I'm going to change this entire problem into addition problems. So anytime I see a subtraction, I'm going to make it into addition. So I'm going to first start by rewriting this. I'm going to do negative 4 minus 5 plus 3. Okay? So in this case, I have my LCO, leave, change, opposite. So I leave the negative 4. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition. I'm going to do the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. Now, in this case, at this point, I have all addition signs, so I'm done making any changes. Now I'm just going to add. So I have basically -5 plus -4, which gives me -9 plus 3, right? And then I'm going to add those two together, -9 plus +3. There are 6 more negatives than there are than there are positives, so I have an answer of -6. Now, how about for our problem for number 6? It's a little bit different. Again, I'm going to rewrite this. I have -7 minus 9 minus -14. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to leave change opposites. I'm going to leave the -7 alone. I'm going to change the minus to addition, and the opposite of 9 is -9. Now watch what I do next. I'm going to do the same thing again. I have another subtraction problem. So I'm going to leave change opposite. So I'm going to leave the -9. I'm going to change subtraction to addition, and then I'm going to change the -14 to its opposite, which is +14. Now I can begin adding across. So I'm going to have -7 plus -9, which gets me -16. And then I can go ahead and bring down my +14. And now I have -16 and +14. I have more negatives than I have positives by 2, so my answer is -2. All right, so it's on to our last stop. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to look at algebraic expressions, and we're going to be solving them by plugging in the values given in the instructions. So the instructions say, evaluate the expression when k equals -5, m equals -8, and n equals 10. So I'm just going to plug in the values that I've been given. So that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm going to rewrite this. So I have -7, which is going to stay the same. So I have -7 plus, now k is a -5, so I'm going to say plus -5. Or sometimes they will write it with parentheses. It's okay. The minus sign comes down. So now minus n. N is 10, so it'll just be -10. So here's my problem. Now I'm going to look, the -7 plus -5 I can leave. But the -5 minus 10, I want to do the LCO. So I'm going to do leave, change, opposite. So I have -5, which I leave, change the subtraction to addition, and the opposite of 10 is -10. Now I can begin adding. So I have -7 plus -5. Since they're the same, I'm going to get -12. And then I'm going to bring down my plus -10. Again, these are the same signs, so I can add. I'm going to get -22. And that's all there is to that problem. Now for number 8, 8's a little bit different because we have absolute value signs. If you remember with absolute value, the absolute value of a number is how far is that number from 0 on a number line. And so what I'm going to first do is I'm going to write down the problem. So I have n minus m. I'm going to write it in with the values from the instructions. So again, my n value is 10. So I put a 10 here. And then minus. And then my m value is -8. So I'm going to put a -8. Okay? Now the next step, I'm going to rewrite this using LCO. Right? And I'll do it this way. With my LCO. So basically I have 10 minus -8, right? And so I'm going to do leave the 10 alone, change the subtraction to addition. Opposite of -8 is +8. When I When I add these together, I'm going to get 18. So I have the absolute value of 18. And the absolute value of 18 is simply 18. So there you have it. That is how we go about solving subtracting integer problems. Hopefully this was a good lesson for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And like always, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that hit that little bell for post notifications. All right. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.